Good evening and welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting for Monday, November 12th, 2018. And I'm going to call the meeting to order.
Any second?
Okay, you all got a copy of the October minutes. Were there any questions, concerns, corrections that need to be made in those?
No.
No.
I motion to approve the October minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, minutes are approved. You've got the recreation monthly reports and the senior citizen monthly report numbers. Were there any questions or concerns on those? No?
No.
Okay,
No.
Moving right along. Old business, just want to give you some updates. As we have mentioned before, we received some donations towards the tot lot play structures. They have actually been ordered now.
Yay.
And they are scheduled to be delivered and installed in the beginning of May. So it was too late in the season to try to get them installed, and why have them installed and sit through the winter anyway. So we did receive $5,000 from the Masonic Lodge and $500 from the Rotary and $500 from the Lions Club. So that came to $6,000. The total cost for both units was a little over $11,000. So over half of it was donation. So
That was very nice.
yes, it was very generous of those groups.
And this is for, some of this equipment is like for the special needs?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
10-spin has special harnesses or special harness for strapping in a child from a wheelchair or even a child who had difficulty maybe maintaining a upright position
It's
during
good
a
we're
ride.
moving in that direction there.
Yeah, so we're trying to keep going in that direction. An update on the foul ball netting. I finally did get some pricing on that that was more reasonable. It's through Carter Crompton, and he and his company does this. And from my background checks and things, he's the go-to guy in this area. He did the foul ball netting at Bishop Foley High School. And the pricing was $8,800 to run foul ball fencing along the first baseline and the third baseline of the hardball field. I've had several email exchanges with the youth sports groups. I did go and speak at the Athletic Boosters meeting last week, and they have agreed to that they will chip in somewhere between $500 and $1,000 towards this project. I'm going to apply for an MMRMA grant. If we get the grant, they would pay a third of it. That's the max that they will pay. Youth baseball and softball is contacting Dick's Sporting Goods to see about getting some money from them for it. So everybody's trying to kick in a little bit here, and I think it's something we're definitely going to move forward with regardless. We know there's a risk there, and I think we absolutely have to do something once you acknowledge there's a risk, and if you don't do anything, then you really do look negligent. So
Okay.
the plan is to get that on the schedule for, again, in the spring. So I'm waiting to hear back from him to see, Carter Crompton, to see when we can get on his calendar. He's all over the place. So he was trying to, finish up fall things and then,
In the north soccer field, there's netting that's along that north end of the field. That's
Right, for those
where
backyards,
For the backyards. Who installed that? Was that, do you know?
that was before my time,
Okay.
but I'm sure it was the city that did it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know who actually, if it was just DPW that put it up or if they hired a company to do it.
Okay.
That I don't know. Okay, so that's the update on the foul ball netting. The skate park committee, several meetings ago, we had asked if Christina would, ask the skate park committee if they would be at least consider giving back the original $6,000 that the city had gave them when they were starting their fundraising efforts. I have not heard back from them, and Christina has since resigned from the Parks and Rec Board. So I'm not sure how we should move forward on that. So I'm opening it up to you to,
Can we write them a formal letter and ask to at least sit down and talk about it or meet?
I'd like to know too that we've done some improvements since the park is opened and what those costs
Okay.
were. I think that should be included in, the upkeep of the
Letter.
park and the skate park and what it's going to take to keep it in good shape
okay.
year to year.
All right. I'll put those numbers together, and I will email you all a copy of the letter before I send it.
No worries, thank you.
Okay.
Sound okay?
Yeah, and I don't, if you don't get a response, I think you have to just turn it over to the city council.
Okay. At one of our last meetings, we talked about Rotary Park, which is at the corner of Elmwood and Main Street. Rotary had some ideas about possibly putting in some exercise kind of, I don't want to say equipment, but structures maybe there. And I talked or sent an email to Cheryl Geralds from the Rotary group, and she's going to get us some more information in January as to what that might look like and if it's something that we would like to pursue. I think they're looking at doing the fundraising for it and everything, since the park sort of has been their pet project. They did everything that's in there so far. So that's just an update on that. She said she would try to get us more concrete information in January.
Okay.
I had talked at the last meeting about the dog signage. I had not, I don't know if you can see that out there, but that was the actual sign that we had seen at another field. I did contact the head of that school district, their athletic director, and asked him if he felt that sign did some good. And he said, well, some, but he said, you're always going to have people who are standing right next to the sign and say they didn't know. And he said it was beyond him why people would think that it's okay to let their dogs run wild on a baseball field or a stadium field that their kids actually play a sport on.
Yeah, the soccer field.
But he said, he goes, it helps some, but,
It was.
he wasn't like, yes, this was the answer.
But I think it's the same thing. It's how you enforce it. It's really nice to have, like, that's a sign, but that's a different, but unless there's some enforcement, then.
You're right.
It goes in one ear, straight out the other.
Absolutely right. And you always have the people who, like he said, standing right next to the sign, said they never knew. So,
But at least it's there.
I still think even to put something up by the tot lot
okay.
would still be,
Yeah, because that's ridiculous. Like, they just close the gates and let the dog, and they're big dogs, and you're like,
Yeah.
that's for children, like.
Right.
even if they're a bigger sign than that, if we, just put something on the fence around the outside of it. that
Okay.
No dogs.
Well, at least at the
off
two
leash.
entrances or the
Right.
3 entrance points into it, they would have to see it before they open the gate to go in. These signs, the price on these for like a 14 by 10 sign is $20, just 14 inches by 10 inches. They have a 10 by 7 or a 7 by 5, and the price goes, $12 for the 10 by 7 and $8 for a 7 by 5.
And your intent was to put them on the gates of the soccer field?
Yeah, we
and
had
the
thought about
baseball
posting
and-
it,
then
at the
tot
soccer
lot.
field. But as you said, if there's nobody to enforce it, it's really kind of useless because lots of people put their dogs on that soccer field, the Bywood soccer field, and shut the gates and let them run wild in there too. We've seen them on the artificial turf field, and, luckily a couple times park attendants or police have seen the dogs running loose on there and have told them, yeah, get your dogs off the
How
field.
about a big one for the bleachers?
Yeah.
Oh, man, the bleachers. Keep your dog out.
I don't know what the answer is really. Unfortunately, there are those people that are just going to do what they want to do no
So
matter
Are you
what.
saying that then the signs aren't useful, that we don't need to do it?
Well, I guess we need to decide. I mean, now Valerie's saying that she would definitely, regardless, like to see one at the tot lot, because we've had several complaints about people using the tot lot as a dog run. And that's where little kids are supposed to be in there playing on those play equipment.
I don't see why we wouldn't put them even on the soccer field entrance fence. I mean, you're absolutely right.
I'm-
It's for those people that can read, but some of them
I think
don't
you
care
got to. I think you have to. I think even if you know it's not going to be it, we still got to put
Enforce
those
it.
outdoor and hope
Yeah.
Well,
it's
just like-
someone, even if we stop one
I
person,
mean,
that's
for
one
20
person.
bucks a sign,
Yeah,
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
you said, you know, if we know that there's an issue and we don't do anything, then.
right,
well, I
know.
never saw a sign.
right, yeah.
At least if
Okay.
we just at the entrance.
So your
yeah.
recommendation then would be to put these signs on the entrance gates to the Bywood soccer field,
Yes.
the turf field,
Main entrances.
the main entrances, and then the tot lot right now. I mean, the baseball field's locked down, and the softball field and the north baseball field are wide open, so it's kind of
Yes.
hard to,
Enforce that.
there's
yeah,
not
or
like
at
a
least-
main entrance to those areas.
Is
It's
there
just
a,
open.
is there is a gate that goes through the park to get to that, the Bywood soccer field too? So maybe one on each side?
Okay. Yeah, and you can get through, and they leave that open during the season so people can get to the restrooms quicker.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
a
so we
gate at
would
the
need
south
one there,
end-
too.
The south end near the
So one,
bathrooms, and then
two,
there's one at the
three.
north end.
They would be on the east and west side of that Bywood field.
Yeah, but there's one there's one on Bywood.
Right, that's the
It's
west.
at the northwest side. And then there's one directly across. at
There's
the
two
northeast-
entrances.
East side.
Right.
And then there's one at the east-south side.
So there's three entrances to the Bywood soccer
Yes.
field. Yeah. Yep. And then there's
lot.
two entrances to the stadium field, and, well, technically, there'd be entrances on the other side too, but the two main entrances are on the one side. And then the tot lot there's a big gate so they can get machinery in there, and then there's two smaller gates to get in and out.
Is that big gate open?
Yeah,
Yep.
it can open. All you have to do is
Just open it.
open it. It's not locked or anything.
Yeah,
So we
that-
would need maybe three there. So we're talking about 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get 8. That should be, at least we have done our part and tried to inform people of it.
And I know at the last meeting, you had suggested putting the ordinance, per park ordinance, blah, 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 whatever the number is on it, yeah.
There's a sign there now that I noticed as I'm driving by. Does that tell the time you're allowed to be in there, or?
Yeah, 7 to 11,
Yeah.
7 a.m. to
Is that
11
all?
p.m.
I thought it said more than that, so.
Oh, it does,
Yeah,
yeah. There's,
Is it the ordinance on there, or no?
well, there's no I mean, it gives the rules, but I don't think that we list the ordinances on there.
And
no.
there isn't one on there about the dogs and have to be on leashes?
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's on there.
Yeah, there's always one there.
Dogs have to be under control and on leash.
Okay.
But that's like I told you, I had the guy, when I questioned him on it one day, he had his dog off, it was on a leash, not in his hand. And he goes, my dog's on leash. I said, well, it has to be under control. He's under control. So,
You can't,
Can't
yeah.
argue with them.
so,
They are so defensive.
it's just going to be an ongoing battle.
is.
But, I think putting a few more signs up isn't a bad idea.
No.
If you're all in agreement then.
Can't hurt.
Yeah.
It can't hurt.
Okay, so we'll look at getting those signs ordered, and I'll look at how much, if it costs extra to have specifically an ordinance put across the bottom that it references. Okay. Any other discussion on the old business updates?
No.
No.
Okay. Moving on to new business. Our SHARP, which is the Senior Home Assistance Repair Program, which is run through the senior center, it started in October of 2008. And at that time, we worked with the North Woodward Community Foundation. Troy had a SHARP program. We were the second one. Then Auburn Hills developed one, and then Madison Heights did, all kind of following the same plan that originally started with the North Woodward Community Foundation. And since then, they've been the organization that handles all of our, like, printing of our materials, and they give us a yearly report of how many jobs we've done, and they also handle all of our money. Because when we do a job for a family, we don't charge them for materials, but a lot of times the family will give a donation back to the program. And that way we have some funds, so if there are people that are, in a hardship position where they need something done to help them remain safely in their home, and they can't afford it, then they can apply and we can use some of that money. The North Woodward Foundation came to me a couple weeks ago to let me know that they are going to be disbanding. And a lot of the programs that they were running, they've kind of filtered off to other community organizations. The Troy Community Foundation is going to take care of the SHARP program for Troy, but they didn't want to take care of, obviously, Clawson or Madison Heights or Auburn Hills. Auburn Hills is going to run their own through their city accounts, and I'm not sure what Madison Heights is doing. Clawson does have a Clawson Community Foundation that was started several years ago, but really not much had been happening with that. And they're reviving it again. It's still registered as a 501c3. And so I talked with the city manager, and he said either we could run it through the city or we could run it through the the Clawson Community Foundation. I've talked with my SHARP board, and they are all in agreement that we can just go with the Clawson Community Foundation. So we've applied to transfer our funds into their foundation, and we're supposed to hear back from them to set up a meeting where my SHARP board and myself will meet with them and make sure that they can do what we need them to do to keep our program running.
I think that's a good idea.
Just wanted to keep you updated on that. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Next on new business, it is that time of year for holiday beautification. So I do have your I do have your maps. And I apologize if I give you the same sections all the time. I should really keep better track of what I do. But since we are down one member, I'll take a section myself, and you can pass those down. Your section is highlighted. So if you can get out in between now and December the 10th, and look at your areas and come up with some of your highlight houses. We will go out on Monday, December 10th. I would need your houses by noon that day, if not before, so we can kind of get some sort of a list going. And then we can go out and take a look. And are you guys okay with just going out to look at the houses, or do you want to meet and have pizza first? What's up to you guys, what you want to do?
I think meeting and just going out.
Yeah, meeting just gonna,
I think
Okay.
we should, did we try to get out a little earlier
Like
last
6?
year?
Is 6 can you all make it at 6?
yep.
Yeah.
Is that okay? 6 o'clock to go out and look? Okay. All right, so we'll plan on going out at 6 o'clock on Monday, December 10th to do the final judging. If we can get everything organized quickly like we did with the summer beautification, then we might be able to present at council on the 18th, the winners. We keep a list online at cityofclawson.com, so as we get houses called in, and anybody in the community can call their house address in, their own or their neighbors. The more the merrier, so please call us at the Park and Rec office at 248-589-0334 with your nominations for holiday beautification, and we'll keep a running list of those, so if people want to go out on their own and kind of look around town, they can do that as well.
We're doing businesses as well this year?
We haven't really done businesses other than sort of, not as like a winner, but we have recognized businesses, yes, that have, decorated their storefronts and stuff. So we can certainly put a list of businesses together at the council meeting, so they're recognized as well. Because it all makes the city beautiful, doesn't it? I know DPW's been out getting all the garland up on the light posts, and it's coming quicker than
Yep.
we know.
Well, it
6
seems like
weeks.
Thanksgiving's earlier.
It
this
is,
year.
it's a week early, and that really throws everything off, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So any other questions on holiday beautification? Okay, upcoming events, we've got the Christmas tree lighting is going to be on November the 28th. The library at 5:30 has ornament decorating for children. You don't have to sign up for it, just show up at 5:30, and they're going to have all the supplies for you to make an ornament that you can hang on the tree that we're going to be lighting when Santa arrives. So keep that in mind. That should be a fun evening. We have the Clawson High School Choir is going to be there leading some carol singing. The Optimists will be having cocoa and cookies over at the City Hall Community Center room immediately following the tree lighting, which
All right,
will
and what
be,
date is this again?
pardon me?
What date?
It's Wednesday, November 28th. And we will have a reindeer and a couple of elves at the gazebo as well. This all takes place at the gazebo next to the library. So come, make your ornament in the library, come out and see the reindeer, hang your ornament on the city tree. Santa arrives at about, probably about 10 to 7. So welcome to the city, and the lights go on the tree, and then everybody goes across the street for some cocoa and cookies, and you can visit with Santa there too. So
Yeah.
it's a fun evening, and I hope that our community will be able to come out and enjoy it. So that is the big event in November. And of course, December, everybody will be busy with everything that's coming up. The Highlights newsletter is going to be going out. We did order 900 more copies because we were getting reports that many residents were not receiving it. So this time, it's probably going to go out in the next 2 weeks. So if you do not receive a Highlights newsletter, please call the Parks and Rec office and let us know what address you're at. And we will certainly investigate why you did not receive one. Highlights is always available online at cityofclawson.com. You can usually pick them up here at City Hall or down at Hunter Community Center as well, but every resident should get one in the mail. So look for that coming near the end of the month.
Just a quick question. How many more of these highlights do we have before we have to talk about the new contract, or how many's left in this contract?
Right now, we are looking, the new contract starts in June, and they have already increased it to the 900. They don't charge us for printing.
Yeah.
It's just the mailing that we pay for. So they
Does the
did.
post office come by and pick those up?
No. No,
Did we ask?
Yes.
We've asked?
no, we count them into bundles of 50s, and then we take them up to the post
Okay.
office. Luckily, everything's nice and close, straight shot from Hunter right up to the post office, so. That is all I have. Are there any, what I did want to say too is I did receive an application for our board. I've turned it over to Mike, and the way the process goes, the mayor and council has to present somebody to be on a board. So until that happens, we have no control over that. So, but somebody did apply to be on the board. So I would think that Christina's, you knew the mayor. It comes from the mayor, so.
Okay.
She'll look at the applicants, and I think right now we only have one applicant for the Parks and Rec Board. So I would assume, they would be sometime in the near future
Okay.
put on our board. Any public comment? There's nobody here, so we can close public comment.
I move we adjourn.
And we adjourn. Thank you very much.
My second.